What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Noodle Time, episode 136. I'm your host, Mark Segovia, alongside two of the greatest Dynamo supporters that I've gotten to know throughout these past couple of years, Andres and OSG. What's going on, guys?
Oh
Hey,
man,
what's up, man? What's up, bro? Hey, I'm good. I'm ready for
I'm
the
just waiting for
friggin'
I'm
weekend.
just waiting for y'all to say hi.
Hey, I
I'm just
know,
waiting
like
for y'all to say hi.
the dynamic foxtrot, it leads me off, but I follow up. But I'm ready for the friggin' weekend, bro. I'm ready for the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lot of great stuff coming up this weekend. Obviously, the big match against Austin FC. We're going to be tailgating. We're going to be grilling or eating some pupusas. We're going to hopefully have a giveaway, guys. Let's come. I mean, we'll talk about that later. I want to have a big giveaway this Saturday, but I need your guys' help. But with all that being said, I mean, guys, where can we start? We come back home. We spoke about it last week. We got the great news that Lingr was going to be available for selection for the first time for the Dynamo. And what does he do? He scores he scores the game time goal for the Dynamo to salvage a point at home against who do we play? Rapids, right? So sorry, guys.
Colorado
Brain
Rapids.
fart. Yeah, brain fart. Sorry, guys. And and obviously, pandemonia escalated, and everybody's excited. Lingr was excited. You can tell everybody was excited. The buildup for the play was really nice. Obviously, the assist from Franco Escobar was sweet, and obviously the header from Lingr was even sweeter. Just a great thing. Obviously, right now the fact that we're grabbing points every week, it seems now, is great. But but obviously, being at home and being the team that we're trying to be and trying to catch up from the points that we let go in the beginning of the season, some of these ties need to turn into wins, and some of these losses need to turn into ties. But we'll get to that sooner. But let's talk about the good stuff. OSG, Lingr scoring the game tying goal. What was your thoughts at the moment? Were you at the game?
No, sir, did not make this game, unfortunately.
So no traveler miles this weekend.
No, sir, no OC mileage tracker.
All right. So you're sitting on the couch. You got the Apple TV going. You see the Dynamo
Absolutely.
down 2-1. What are your thoughts?
Stressing, stressing. Completely. And then and then the timing, obviously the ball, Escobar doing Escobar things, like, oh, man. And then he lingered, and he talked about it. He talked about it with Glenn Davis. He talked about it afterwards. Just the effort that he put into it to get to where he needed to be, and then the defender's reaction just sold it all. You save the day, as you titled this, Mark. Lingr, save the day. Even though it's
For
for
sure,
1 point.
Yeah, we're gonna hopefully the Dynamo don't stress you too much, man, because I don't know where else we can get white hairs from you. So a lot of stressing. Andres, your thoughts on the goal? Obviously, something amazing. It's not too often that we get to see a debut, especially from a player that we've been longing to see get on the pitch, to come out and automatically contribute from the get go.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna say is the fact that it felt so long since he was announced, and obviously the visa issues and all that. And thankfully, he was able to get back into training fairly quickly. And after that, I was essentially shocked with the fact that he came in the last 50 minutes of the game, and just scoring that header in the 96th minute and becoming the first designated player in Dynamo history to score in his debut. For me, I was like, first of all, I didn't know that happened. Like, we had nobody scoring in a debut
That's
before for a
crazy.
designated player.
That's a crazy stat.
It's insane. For me, like, just the way he was able to play, and contribute is before the goal, it tells me a lot. So that's the type of energy that we need right now, and it's definitely amazing to see Andres Lingr score like that.
For sure. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you my personal experience. I was sitting down on the couch. I'm like, man, dude. I mean, first I was frustrated with obviously the penalty that Femi gave up to Navarro, and then obviously the Milekovic goal was man, I'm like, here we go again. And then obviously I was already expecting, what was been doing? Why did he put Bond in ahead of Gilly? All this. I was already preparing for a negative show today. But then I'm sitting down, whatever. I'm watching the build up, whatever, and I see the ball get up, and I see the ball go up, and I see Franco Escobar. And you know what? Shout out to Franco Escobar. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, we might have to have a debate soon. He might be the best left back in Dynamo history. We might have to have a debate pretty soon about that. But that'll be for another show. But anyways, he jumps up, he gets the clearance over the defender, is able to head the ball in, and out of nowhere, to be honest, I wasn't even paying attention to the middle of the box. Out of nowhere, Lingr comes in, boom. And the great thing about this header was it wasn't a powerful one. It wasn't one that he just had to hit it with all his might. He hit it the way it needed to go and where it needed to be at. He hit it with finesse and with accuracy, and that's all you needed. And bam, man, dude, I was so excited. So I mean, like, dude, I was super excited. Like I said, I didn't know. I had no idea about the stat about being the first DP in Dynamo history to score in his debut. I had no idea about that. I mean, now that you added that caveat on top of it, Andres, I'm even happier now about it. It's great to see players come in and contribute right off the bat, man, because we don't get to see that often from as a Dynamo fan base. To see that. I mean, look. We know what happened with Hector Herrera. Like the first 10 games were miserable, but that's what it was. I mean, he came in half of the season, whatever, this and that, wasn't in shape, miserable, whatever. Ponce, it took him a little bit of a while, to get acclimated, and to get in with the system. But then, once you got a little bit used to the chemistry, whatever, we've seen him score. Unfortunately, we haven't had him score at a more consistent pace like we would like for the money that he cost us. But I mean, we're hopeful that he gets there. Sebastian Ferreira, same thing with him. Came in, debuted, didn't contribute right off the bat. But I mean, obviously, he ended up his first season with I think it was 12 or 13 goals. But then Olsen comes in and mixes up the whole thing, and he gets him off of the fact that he doesn't fit his system and all this other nonsense or whatever. And obviously, he goes away and he's no longer with the team. So the fact that, Lingr has come in game one, scored one goal, already he's gotten that monkey off his back. I'm excited to see what he does this Saturday, whether or not you think he starts or he gets full or he comes off the bench to still get him off, to still get the rust off of him. I guess we'll see what happens. But from that standpoint of the game, very happy, very excited. I'm happy to see what happens with Lingr and obviously with the other players that come in. Guys, before anything else, do you have anything else to add about the Lingr goal or anything else that you want to comment about the player himself?
Anybody? I think just the work effort he put to put himself in that position, and he even mentioned it on the Glenn Davis interview how he plays and this way he does it. So yeah, man, he's going to be a difference. He is portraying himself as a difference maker, and is going to be a difference maker, and he wants to be that difference maker. And so, looking forward to it, and let's see what he can do and continue to do. I expect him to start this weekend, and why not?
Yeah, and let's not forget. Obviously, he right now at this current moment, he does carry that DP title on him because of the transfer fee and stuff like that. But so I mean, obviously, when you carry that DP that DP level type player, whatever people are expecting right off the bat. Let's go. So obviously one game down right off the bat, 2 thumbs up. But let's continue talking about this game though. Obviously we're coming back home. We spoke about it last week, me and OSG, about the tie that we got against LA Galaxy, and how I mentioned prior that road points are golden points. So you can never be upset about coming out with a point on the road. But that game against LA Galaxy seemed kind of like, man, we lost a big opportunity at getting the full 3 points, because I mentioned to him, I told him, dude, we're going up against both LA clubs. If I told you right now you're guaranteed 4 points, OSG, you admitted you would take it. Andres, I'm pretty sure you would take it if I told you that ahead of time. And yet we came out with the 4 points, but it seems like a disappointment because we had a really big opportunity for 6. Now, coming into the game for this game against Colorado, obviously, I think the motivation of guys seeing that new players are coming in. Obviously, with new players coming in, that means that other players are going to be pushed and might be pushed off from starting to the bench, and that brings extra motivation, right? And you saw that right off the bat with the Bassi goal. Bassi in there, scoring, doing things that we've wanted Bassi to do. One of the things that we
Seba
find,
almost doing the same thing, but right before.
yeah, one of the things that we find annoying with Bassi is that we sometimes when he should be shooting, he's passing. He's too passive, But he does score the goal. Dynamo are showing really good chemistry, going up and down against Colorado Rapids, and it seemed like we were poised to go back to back on wins at home, but again, a silly penalty in the box, silly foul in the box by Felmy, gives up obviously the first goal to Colorado Rapids for them to tie it, and then a couple of minutes later, Milinkovic going up 2-1 against the Dynamo. Andres, I'll ask you this question, man. Obviously we've lost a lot of points in the beginning of the season. Starting off the way we started off. It's going to get to a point where we can't lose these points. Even though, like I said, we got out of there with a point, and obviously, as long as we keep collaborating and collecting points, will be good. But these 3 points that we're letting go, that's 4 points now. These last 2 weeks that I feel that we could have had, and it would have gone a long way in the standings. Your thoughts on it?
It's extremely concerning, and of course, that's kind of how we started the season, with how we've been taking the lead against FC Dallas and still managing to lose the 3 points. And it's gonna bite us towards the end of the year when we're gonna be looking for points, still regardless of how we're doing in the standings. Of course, there's still a lot of positives to take out of this game, particularly just how they were able to stay composed, because Colorado is not a bad team at all. The results themselves are there, and really, when it comes down to it, for me, it's just how they can manage it from here. And it's definitely easier said than done when the players are obviously they know what's at stake and what they need to do, but they have to find a way to get the 3 points now, because it's now at home, especially because on the road I feel like we've been, for the most part, decent enough to grab as many points as we can, and at home I just feel like we're wasting a good opportunity to get 3 points here and there.
OSG, obviously our road form. Aside from the game against I forgot who it was where we got kind of pummeled, where we didn't get a point. We managed to collect a point. Against Portland. Aside from that game, we've managed to collect a point, which obviously, like I said, road points are golden points, right? But they can't be too golden if we're not collecting the wins at home that we need to be, especially with the opportunities and chances that we go in halftime leading the game. We have to find the ability to close. What do you think they need to do to better equip themselves to stop making these little mistakes where they're giving up these penalties against these clubs?
Man, well, the mental mistakes, I mean, the little ones are going to come. I mean, they're rare. They come, but man, I think the biggest thing is Ben just is so predictable right now in his tactics and and the game plan and the way he's going to play and what adjustments he's going to make. The league has figured him out, and it's impossible for us to win at home or even grab points at home or get that one that. And we're lucky for that 1 point right now, and it's just you don't even use the whole subs. He's just like you're losing 1-0, and then like you have 3 subs available still, and you don't use them. You feel comfortable that you're gonna come back and maybe tie this game, but you're like, oh, damn, we didn't do it. I still have 3 subs available. I could have changed the game if I wanted to. I know you. Ben is just like he's that stubborn dude, bro. And it's like it's so hard to how because you have to you have to evolve and make adjustments, and I kind of feel like Ben is evolved to his max, and it's just tough right now. And it could be the players we have now. We'll see. We have a lot of players coming in, so I'm curious what's going to happen next. But
Yeah.
man, it's hard. Like, bro, you got to change a little bit, and he may be trying to change, and the players aren't, or it's not translating. I don't know, but we'll never know unless you're out there.
Andres, do you agree with OSG? Do you think it's stubbornness on Olsen's part, or do you think that Olsen wholeheartedly believes that he doesn't have the right talent on the bench to get the result or to go out there and get the result?
I think it's a combination of both, but as we've seen in the past few years with Ben Olsen in charge, he's been stubborn, and I do give him a lot of leeway here because of the injuries and all that. Like he already said before that he's missing his players, and he always had to make adjustments at the start of the year. But yeah, it's like always you just highlighted the fact that we're only making 3 subs now.
Yeah.
It feels like at most, and also feels like we could have some more options out there. But that's how we were allowed, and it's also a matter of, like you guys said, it like how he's able to apply the game plan here. And for me, it's just gonna get interesting from now on because of the reinforcements we're gonna talk about for sure. But like for this game in particular, I feel like there could have been more, and the opportunity was there to get the win.
Yeah, for sure.
And real
All
quick,
right, well,
Mark, and just to follow up, it's like it's the players that we bring up from Dose as well, and you have on those bench that we hype up and we talk about all the time, and we believe in his fan base. The fan base believes in him, and then the coaching staff doesn't use them that portray. You have Diego Gonzalez, you brought up a few times. Batioja, Exxon, you brought up and didn't even use at all. It's kind of you didn't even give him 1 minute, right? It's just like, come on, bro. Like, try a little bit. We're suffering. You could have used Lytle. Down 4-1 to Miami was an opportunity. Exxon could have came in and got valuable minutes. So it's just, questions, but we're not in the inside again.
yeah, I agree. I agree. One interesting thing about this game that we watched this past week was there was a change in between the nets. Jonathan Bond, who came in from Watford, was the starting goalkeeper over Blake Gillingham. His first start of I'm assuming mini, or I'm assuming that from here on out, Jonathan Bond is going to be our starting goalkeeper for the
Agreed.
MLS season. I think Blake will be in charge of the Open Cup and League Cup situation, kind of like how it was a couple years ago with Steve Clark and Tarba. But that's yet to be seen. But guys, your thoughts on the change between the sticks, Andres? Do you think it was too soon for Bond to be starting as he just barely came back? He barely came into training maybe a week and a half ago. or obviously the great job that Blake has been doing. Do you think it was maybe too quick of a pull to get him off of there?
I feel like it was too soon, and this is considered a Ben Bestie's moment because he definitely had his favorites here, and I feel like it was very unfair for Blake Gillingham to lose a spot like that, especially with the performances he's been pulling out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and in the moment that we needed the most. Obviously, he's still a rookie. The next thing you know, like at the start of the year, we need him to start, and this was before Bond was in the picture. So for me, it's just unfair. I feel like it was going to be a starter for the time being up until Bond was able to take the spot from him. Obviously, the fact of the matter is that Bond does have more experience than he has.
Yeah.
Even though Bond has been having like a pretty poor season with Watford before he came over, and it is what it is. Now I do feel more upset that the change happened in the end because I feel like Blake guaranteed having that spot unless something happened in training that I don't know, that's like really that horrible that he practiced, but I don't agree with that.
OSG, obviously, because of the turmoil that we had at goalkeeping, with Tarbell going down and then Maurer going down, and Blake coming out of nowhere. Realistically, I mean, he became kind of a fanfare overnight. Obviously, with the with just with his abilities, the way he's been able to kind of catch up with everything and being the goalkeeper and looking like a real true goalkeeper prospect and maybe being a long time goalkeeper for a Dynamo here. Do you think it's more of a just a emotional feel towards Blake? Where like, man, he was doing such a great job. He's young. You should let him keep going. Or did Ben Olsen do the logical thing where, hey, look, Jonathan Bond is an MLS proven goalkeeper, has playoff experience, was in the championship league, so obviously this is the guy that we're going for. We brought him in for a reason. We didn't bring him in to sit on the bench. Your thoughts, OSG?
No, I agree. I agree. And Ben kind of said it, and I think they made Gilly aware of the situation. Gilly's a rookie. He's 18 years old, coming out. I believe he's 18, 20 or whatever. He's young and he's inexperienced. MLS is no joke. uh, Goalkeeper situation. 8 days coming in and starting after the second game. He was the bench the first game. Gilly got to start. We're like, okay, all right, it's going to be Gilly. Yeah, we're cool with this. Emotional. Yeah, we're happy with Gilly because we love him already. And then second game, Bond gets to start. We're like, come on, this is a surprise. Bond does a great job, and press conference. Ben backs him up and like, hey, experience what he's done. I expect this and this is what I want. This was a long season. Gilly is good, but he's young and you don't know what you're going to get in the long run. I'd rather trust, and that's what he's went with. And Bond is good. He's shown it. He's proven it. Where he came from, where he is. Championship is no joke. Watford is no joke. So he was a good keeper. He was a good keeper. He lost his job to a very more athletic keeper. So I mean, I get it, but I'm with Bond as the starter. I'm with Gilly as the backup. I love it. I love what Gilly did
Yeah,
in taking that place and putting himself on the map.
yeah. If anything, I mean, ironically, if we kind of look at it, I mean, our goalkeeper position has increased in talent immensely from what we thought it was going to be.
Hmm.
You know,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, don't
absolutely.
no disrespect to Tarbo and Maurer. You know, Tarbell obviously we were given the
And
opportunity
Clark.
because we felt that he was he deserved it. He deserved it. Obviously, being Clark's backup all these years, whatever. So we were willing to give him the opportunity to prove himself, and obviously, unfortunately, he had this season-ending injury. Maurer is probably as old, if not older, than Clark. He was just brought in to just be a backup keeper because you obviously need a backup keeper, and he has experience. So I wasn't expecting too much of him. So I think the fact that now our goalkeeping tandem is Bond and Blake Gillingham, I think we've immensely improved our goalkeeping position. Obviously, like I said, I understand the sentimental feeling of Blake being our guy because he came in our time of need. He had great saves. He showed that he can play, that he can play at this level and things like that. But again, we're in a position where, hey, we need, especially that position. That position, you need experience. You need goalkeeper. You need somebody with tenacity and all that stuff. Not to, like I said, not to say that Blake doesn't have it. He's just inexperienced. And like I said, I think he got great exposure. I think he showed the coaching staff and the players and the club what he's capable of. So I think that's why he does deserve the time to be the starter for the cup tournaments. Obviously the league is something different. So I mean, I don't think this is the last we see of Blake. Obviously, in my opinion, like I said, honestly, I don't know what's in Olsen's mind. But obviously, I would reward the young man with, "Hey, here you go. You know what? The U.S. Open Cup starts. This is your cup competition. You're gonna help us succeed in this competition or fail. So this is your baby right here. So we'll see what
Open
happens.
Cup game
Obviously,
in
the cup
13 days.
in 13 days. There you go. So we'll see. We see the return of Blake between the sticks. Guys. Obviously, moving on from that game against Colorado Rapids, the MLS transfer season, transfer window has closed. A lot of things have happened, and obviously, I'm gonna go to Andres here to get some updates about some of our signees: Pablo Ortiz, Duane, Holmes. We got the news that Toyosi has officially been signed, and we have a departure, an unfortunate departure to some loyalists of the fan base that we have out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Aliyu army might be a little bit depressed at the moment, but I think it's a win-win for the player and the club. Andres can get to the specifics and details about that transfer, but before we get to the Aliyu departure, guys, Andres, give us any updates on Pablo Ortiz, Duane, Holmes, and I guess and then OSG can give us a update on the Toyosi and when we can expect to see him.
Hey, welcome in, Iron Front.
Oh yeah, and the most left field will transfer out of this window for sure. Like nobody saw this coming up until Tom Bogert leaked it yesterday. And man, the more that I read it, and as soon as it happened officially, as it was announced, really, the more I liked this transfer. And of course, he wasn't really well liked in the fan base because of everything that happened over time. But you could understand what's been going on. So yeah, and literally right after the transfer window closed yesterday, they officially announced that Ibrahim Aliyu was transferred to Columbus Crew, and these numbers, man. Like obviously he's 23 years old still. He could still have a ceiling depending on the team that he plays. But the Dynamo did receive $450,000 in cash for player trade, essentially cash, and also with the performance metrics, that if all of them are met, the Dynamo could earn up to $750,000. So we're talking a lot of
fan
money
base
here.
will be so mad if he makes those metrics.
Let me say something before you continue, Andres.
Yeah.
Let me just say something real quick, and I think we can speak. I think I speak for all of us, and if I don't, obviously you can voice your opinion, but I think Aliyu as a person, I mean, he might be a fantastic young man. He seems like he always has a smile on the face, and all the good stuff. Seems like a really great person, man. It's an unfortunate thing that they just didn't work out here for him, And sometimes that happens, and obviously a new change of scenery and going to Columbus, a club that has been one of the upper echelons of clubs here with the MLS the last half decade, winning
No Cucho,
different
no
titles and all stuff.
Ramirez.
Yeah. Who knows? It might turn him around and might resurrect his career for him personally, which would be great for him personally. And obviously, it'd be great for us because if he hits certain factors, like Andres said, we would get additional funds. So, it's a win-win situation for both player and club. Andres, continue, buddy.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that there's a lot of money on the table that's being transferred to the Dynamo, and potentially a lot more depending on how he performs while in Columbus. And Houston also hold a future selling clause for him, so in case he's transferred out, Houston's gonna get a chunk of that change. So it's pretty
As long as it's
impressive
not
trade.
Boa
But
Vista.
oh, of course, no, yeah, that's a nightmare. No, everywhere but Boa Vista at this point.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that Boa Vista part out here at the end. But aside from the Aliyu, what I heard about Pablo Ortiz finally getting his visa approved. So how soon would it be to we see that young man?
Monday.
Well, based
Tuesday.
on what Asher said, yeah, he said he's traveling now since his visa got taken care of. So we should be expecting him over the next few days. And
You could see him at the stadium on Saturday in the suite.
Owner's box.
You could see him there. No.
nice.
In the players suite. The owner's box is different from the players suite, and they're on the opposite side either way too.
Yeah. Nice. That'll be good to see. Obviously, reinforcements for the defense. What about Holmes? How's his continue improvement from his injury coming along, and how far along is he, and when can we expect to see him?
I think within the next 2 months it should be okay. It's still pretty soon, and obviously just having a broken leg it's not gonna
turn it from M to W. Turn it from months to weeks.
Oh wow!
Weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just being a little bit. I wanted to get like my own ballpark estimate, but over the next few weeks, if everything goes right,
I think it's fourth and most.
It's going to be a little bit optimistic.
Right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, still pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
OSG. So obviously the big news is obviously getting a little bit stronger on the front three with the Toyosi signing to kind of. I'm not too sure what we're gonna do with him, if he's gonna be a backup to Ponce or if he's gonna actually maybe try to link up front with Ponce. What have you heard, and what do you think about the signing?
The signing of Toyosi.
I'll let OSG sign.
Yeah. I like the signing. I don't know what we're gonna do with him. He is a striker type. And it looked like from his highlights and his, whatever YouTube highlights, it looks like a striker. He can play wing. He's got speed. He's got aggression. He's got build. He's got tenacity. He's going to fight for the ball. He's going to win the ball. It was hard to tell how much control he's got. He does take on defenders. He does attack the goalie. He does attack, so something special, not something special. Sorry. It's something that Ben can utilize, but what is Ben going to utilize with? Because what the bigger thing is, Ben likes to play people inverted, play people out of position or whatever is the stereotype, or I guess per se. So I could see him playing on the left wing and playing behind Ponce and giving Ponce a break as well. At the same time, utilizing his speed, and then maybe if we're behind and they're both playing up top at the same time, to give Ponce more space behind the defenders where Toyosi is stretching the field.
Do you think he might get a start at the first U.S. Open Cup game just to get him kind of quickly acclimated?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's here now, so he's waiting on the visa to be approved to be assured that he can play. So if that visa's approved, then absolutely, because he's practiced He's not practicing now. Whatever. He's here, right? He's here. So obviously he's working, he's training, he's doing his job, and he's doing what he's got to do. He's getting acclimated with the team. Yes. So yeah, absolutely. He could play in that Open Cup game. He could, and don't forget about those. Don't forget about those. There's a great place to put somebody there and just get minutes and get form and then come back to the first team. Because it doesn't cost you nothing to put them out there and play for those. It doesn't
Yeah.
cost you nothing to play for the Open Cup and Leagues Cup coming
Yeah.
up as well. So yes, this is great because all these players coming back and all these games that are available for them to play and be ready to transition to the actual first team and us grow. So let's go. Go beyond, as the Dash
Speaking,
say, but we need to do that for the Dynamo now.
yeah, for sure. Speaking of those, Andres, we all know that our GM Pat Austin has a certain affliction for Colombian wingers, and we got news or rumor like last minute that a Colombian winger is coming over to the Dynamo. How true is this rumor?
Defensive
Is it
winger.
validated? And is it and coming from Boca? Look, I've never heard of this club from Colombia. They call it Boca Juniors. The only Boca Junior I recognize is Argentina. Is in Argentina, but I mean, obviously, I guess the branding is going across South America. So, Boca Junior Cali, the winger, I forget his name. You can tell us, Andres, how true is this rumor, and is he poised for Dynamo Dos?
Yes, and this player is gonna be Juan Manuel Viveros, a 20-year-old right back from Boca Juniors de Cali, which is also a club I haven't heard before. I think it's like the third or second division of Colombia, but yeah, man, a position that we need. We're obviously gonna see him for the time being because he's gonna be developing for those, and I do believe it's happening because Pipe Sierra already reported it, and he already reported on Dynamo players or for those players in the past. So this is pretty much almost all said and done. It is going to be a loan for 8 months with an option to buy towards the end. So it's going to be expiring towards the middle of the season next year. And it's another player to consider. Obviously, low risk. It's the loan itself is less than a year, and we do have that option, which is great. So I do look forward to seeing him play with those. And man, it's a right back. I'll take it.
Yeah,
And
for
8 months
sure.
from now
Now,
is January, by the way. So yeah, after the end of the season, so it wouldn't interfere with next season, I don't think.
yeah. So I mean, just to kind of pedal back and talk about the Aliyu departure, guys. Obviously, it opens up a lot of flexibility for the club as far as because Aliyu did take up one of the U22 spots. So that
And international.
that essentially gives us the opportunity to go with 3DP and 3 U22s, or go the 2DP route for U22s, which I think is the route that Pat and the club had originally thought about going with. But now that this is available, give me a percentage. Obviously I don't expect any names or any players that you think might come in the summer, but give me a percentage of what you think the possibilities are that the Dynamo go with 3DPs and 3 U22s instead of the 2DP 4 U22 option. OSG, I'll go with you first.
All right, so my dumbass should have checked this and fact checked this before we even started the show because I knew this question was coming. So what is the rule to when we had to declare the 4-2 or the 3-3? And was there a declaration and a deadline where we had to declare that to begin with? If there was, we're stuck in the 3-3 situation. If there's not, then this is a great situation and we have that opportunity. And I believe I'm going to go 60-40 DP side, that we bring in a DP player. Who that DP player is, no say. You'll never hear who the rumor is from Pat. Never. It could be Abu Fani. It could go back to Abu Fani, which is the fan bases what they're kind of leaning in towards and what they want, but you never know. But yeah, so it could go either way.
You got it, 60-40, Andres.
I'm on the same boat. I definitely say that there's a good chance that we switch if the rules allow us to do so.
Mm.
and that's something that both Pat and Asher have been somewhat hinting that, and they've been saying it for like the past past few months, that every time we've been making like a trade or something like that, Asher has been emphasizing the fact that we're getting close to being in a good position to sign better players and all that. Obviously, that's still up in the air, which with whatever we try to bring in the summer, and I would definitely say that a lot of people here would definitely not say no to a third DP right now.
Yeah, and it's so. Oh, I'm sorry. What's your percentage? Do you go in 60-40 as well?
Yeah, 60-40.
So the funny thing about this, like if I put my little GM hat on, I guess the crazy thing about it is that we might not even have to go 3-3, and still stick with the 2-4 situation, because at the end of the day, they could always buy down Lingr's transfer fee, and just make him a high TAM player, and then you still bring in
You cannot right
another.
now.
Well, I mean, but yeah, but I guess technically, you could, or whatever. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess, like I said,
You
you
can't.
might
You
know
can't right
more
now.
about the rules.
I mean, supposedly they front loaded the contract to where he's a
Okay,
DP right now, and you cannot buy him down for until until for a few months, which would linger the off season, which then possibly we could buy him down or whatever. So that's still rumored. So that's how they purchased it,
okay.
made it worked out to where he's a DP now, but he can be bought down, but you have to be patient and wait
But
very
it'll
short
be for
time.
next season. Okay, so I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, then obviously that changes a lot of what I was thinking about. But but obviously, the flexibility is still there. Obviously, you can go with the current two, which is Lingr and Ponce, and then obviously if there's like a outstanding quality player that's under 22 years old that they find, and they just feel that this player would be a no brainer, kind of like look, hey, Inali was going to be that for us last year until he had his injury. So if they could find another type of Inali type of player and bring him in on a U22 contract like they did Inali, that would be great. But obviously, I think the fan base is clamoring for some more ambition, something bigger, and obviously a third DP would be that more ambitious approach. But we're talking about something ahead of time, and and I guess we'll see what happens. I think I'm more lingering towards 40-60, where we're gonna stay at 2 DPs and go the 4 U22 route. So I'm on the opposite side of you guys. So, but I'm hoping you guys are right. I'm hoping you guys are right.
If I can interrupt, I
More
want to.
insider.
All right.
If I could interrupt, I did just look up the rules in the MLS website, and
Okay.
they do pretty much disclose the fact that we can change the roster construction model. So it says that clubs will conditionally have the opportunity to update their roster construction model at mid-season. So between July 1st and August 21st, which is essentially going to be when
Oh,
the
the
secondary
summer
transfer window
window.
opens. Yeah,
Well,
the
there you
summer
go.
window. So it's possible. It's on the table now.
Well,
Now,
there you
what's
go.
your percentage, Mark?
No, I mean, like I said,
50-50. Just say it.
no. I mean, I'm gonna stick with my 40-60. I don't want to go 50-50. I was gonna, I don't want to go 50-50, but I'm still gonna go 40-60 because I think that there's still I think Pat still in the front office is more in line to go look for a high end prospect than a big name, because obviously even though a big name will sell jerseys and put seats in the stadium and stuff like that. I guess it'll just depend where the Dynamo are at during that time period. If we think a player of high caliber can push us to the next level, and if we're fighting for playoffs, and it could take us from being a playoff team to being a championship caliber team, maybe they throw the fan base a bone and they bring in a big player. But who knows? Until I guess we'll have to wait and see to see where the club is at that moment, at that particular moment, especially in the summer transfer window. But before we even move on to the next topic, you guys mentioned Boa Vista, and dude, look, man, It's crazy because obviously during that time period of those transfers for Alberth Elis to Boavista, and I think it was Manotas to Tijuana and stuff like that, the Matt Jordan era and all that good stuff that was going on during that time period. It was a crazy period, right? And and you go from Alberth Elis and Mario Manotas are kind of like the first generation of players that we brought in, that we developed, and we could have profited much more than what we profited, off of them. And the fact that a player like Alberth Elis, who during his time in Boa Vista did really well, really really well. I think he scored. I think he ended up with like 9 goals and 9 assists, and the first half season with Boa Vista, and then he got transferred over to Bordeaux and League One in France. But the fact of the matter that we have not collected any funds from Boa Vista for the Alberth Elis transfer is still mind blowing to me. Obviously, the same thing with Reggie Cannon and the FC Frisco, and obviously, it's the reason why the deal with the Colorado Rapids collapsed, or is it RSL? I'm sorry, collapsed at the last minute, because I think Boavista was tired of MLS talking so much trash about non unpaid funds. But dude, the fact that MLS clubs are still trying to do business with Boavista is crazy to me. It's crazy.
Hey,
And
someone backed out today, though, right?
Hold on. I don't know. I don't know if Don Garber or whoever from MLS needs to go down to Portugal with Guinadas and head of FIFA, and knock on Boavista's door and be like, "Yo, hey, pay me my money, bitch. Pay me my money, bitch." Like, like I mean, you guys have seen the meme, when Stewie from Family Guy beats up Brian. Where's my money at? Where's my money at? Like, it needs to get to that type of level of aggression, man. Like this, that's ridiculous. The fact that I mean, look, I've heard the news of how Boavista's financial dyers are like crazy. Like I think there was even a rumor that they weren't going to be able to play. They were going to have to forfeit their next home match because they couldn't pay the bills to turn on the electricity, or some crazy nonsense, right? Some crazy nonsense. And it's just crazy how a club like that can just falter and be so irresponsible financially. Like you'd be surprised how many of these clubs are run on credit cards, guys. And and just it's an unfortunate thing for a club like Boa Vista. Their history in Portugal. They're really the 4th club out of the big 3, right? We all know Sporting, Benfica, and Porto, but Boa Vista is the 4th. It's technically like the 4th most decorated Portuguese club in history, and it's crazy, guys. I mean, but I guess.
Hey, Mark.
I guess when do we call it, and when do we say we're not going to get anything for this Alberth Elis transfer?
Well, call it right now. Call it yesterday.
Call
Call
it
it
right
2
now.
years ago.
Call it
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Nothing.
But
Nothing.
speaking of searching for DPs, what's up, Doggo? Thank you for checking in with us. And he says Brian Rodriguez for the next DP if you want to go search for another DP. But
Oh,
Doggo,
Brian Rodriguez,
apply.
Club America.
Yeah, apply. Hey, Doggo's a scout. He just hasn't applied for nobody yet. He's got to put his network out there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Brian Rodriguez wasn't doing too much when he was at LAFC, but he's been killing it for Club America, Tricampeon and all that stuff. And I think he still plays for Uruguay in the national team from time to time, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I would love to see him, but but obviously coming from a big club like America, that's going to cost a pretty penny to get him back to MLS. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We can afford it. We can afford it. Daddy
I
Ted.
mean, Papa Ted, come on. Anyways, guys, let's move on to this week's matchup against Austin FC. the little brother, the kind of the stepchild of Texas soccer. Obviously, we recognize the Texas Derby being Houston versus Frisco. Austin kind of just came in out of nowhere. I think they're kind of like the bastard stepchild that nobody really cares about with the green hair and stuff like that. So I mean, regardless of what it is, but look, regardless of what you think of them, they are sitting
Rotten
second in the
broccoli.
Western Conference right now. Second behind I'm sorry guys. Behind who's
LAF
leading the
Vancouver.
Western Conference?
Vancouver,
Vancouver.
Vancouver, yeah.
LFC.
Vancouver. Oh my god.
Vancouver.
Vancouver. What a story. But is Austin true contenders or are they pretenders? Like honestly, like because like I took a little bit of a deep dive on them, right? Because I haven't obviously I don't really watch their matches, whatever. I kind of took a little bit of a deep dive a couple of days ago, and this is why I posted this question because the Dynamo have scored more goals than Austin has up to this point, right? And then on top of that, Austin has played 9 games. 7 guys. 7 of those 9 games have been determined by 1 goal. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 2-1. 7 of those games. The only outlying game that didn't was the game against Vancouver where Vancouver handed their asses to them and they lost 5-1. But aside from that, I mean, they've scored less goals than the Dynamo, but obviously they scored the goals where needed to win the games. They're basically a win or nothing team, so that's why they have so many points at this current moment. But with that being said, I mean, they are collecting the points, and that's why they're in the position they're in. Andres, do you think Austin is a contender, or do you think they're a pretender?
I think it's too early to call them contenders, even though they had a pretty great start of the year compared to the position they were at last year. And obviously, they did their own type of overhaul this past offseason after they had
And they
to
just brought in Robert Taylor from Miami.
Yeah, and they had to shake off the front office during the offseason. Well, before the offseason started even, and they were just able to make a lot of moves. Kind of like what we did a couple years ago. And for them, it's going great. And for now, like you already mentioned it before, like their results have been close, but they've been getting the results they wanted, and that's all that really matters here. It really is gonna come down to how they do the midseason crunch over the next few months because, like as much as their results are going their way, it's really up to the opponent they're facing and if they can keep up or they can stay consistent over the course of the year. So I feel like it's gonna be a tough opponent for us still. I feel like they have figured themselves out and know how to play, and for us, it's gonna come down to how we're not able to get caught flat-footed, because I feel like that's been the theme of the year, and I'm gonna keep saying it because it keeps happening, and it kind of happened against Colorado too. So it's gonna come down to how ready they are to get the result against Austin.
Yeah. OSG. So hold on, OSG. So Andres, if you had to answer right now, do you so I'm guessing you're leaning a little bit more on the contender side than the pretender side.
More towards the pretender for now, but it's too early, I'd say.
Okay. OSG. So I mean, obviously, luck sometimes takes point, in these games, right? For us, the Dynamo, we've kind of been unlucky on certain aspects, with penalties given up on dying times or whatever, and things of that nature. So that's why we're in the situation we're in as far as being at the bottom of the Western Conference and bottom of the table where we're at right now currently. But Austin has taken full advantage of their situations and their opportunities to score and making sure that they convert those ties into wins. Because like I've mentioned, 7 of their 9 games have been determined by a goal difference, and 6 of those 7 have been 1-0 1-0 games, 1-0 1-0 1-0 games, and they've taken full advantage. What are your thoughts as far as, like, do you think it's luck? Do you think it's more they're more they've brought in more veteran players from MLS like Eli Sanchez. What's the Brandon Vasquez. They obviously they brought in Robert Taylor from Inter Miami. They've got a more sound, more MLS veteran heavy group to where they're more steady and more, I guess,
And they
not
have
so
they
bendable.
have some DPs they enjoy as well.
Yeah. So what do you think? OSG, are you Austin, pretender or contender?
Mid-tender. They're I mean, to tell you the truth, and they probably feel the same right now. They're probably happy that they've got 4 or 5 wins. What is it? It's four. Is it 5 wins now? It's 4 or 5 wins, which is a great start to the season. Like you said, 1-0. But they made a lot of changes to their offense and they improved their offense. They made a tactical adjustment last game against LA Galaxy and proceeded to say this may be the future of the change and this is what they're going to do. So that they're, like you said, still trying to find their identity and what they want to do. And it could cause some trouble, but it depends on the maturity of the Dynamo defense this weekend as to how they're going to, I think our game plan will be a better game plan than what Austin's going to bring for the game plan they've been using. If Ben can tactically play it smartly, and then our Femi doesn't make a youthful YouTube mistake, um, it, it they're mid tenders on the per se of going up to contenders, not going down to pretenders. They're but if they start making mistakes like we do, then it's easily they fall off and just cave immediately. But right
Yeah.
now, they're playing decent opponents. They did get their ass whooped one time. I mean, we got whooped by Portland too at the same time, but it's not 5-1. It was 3-1.
In Miami.
So I hate. Oh yeah. So yeah, twice worse. But so our season is worse than theirs, and I hate to try to compare it to theirs, but they're obviously having a better season, but their their market was earlier than
Yeah.
ours. Our market was later. So I think they're mid tenders, and
Mid
it
tenders,
just
okay.
yeah, it's just how do they play out? Just kind of like we're waiting to see how the Dynamo play out with the bus dropping off all these new players coming in, and how do they play out? Optimistic soccer guy and Andres soccer guy believes that we're gonna move up. I predicted third place is where we finished before this even started, with the injuries predicted, not knowing about Holmes and Lingr and Toyoso and so a couple other players. I was kind of in believe and I believed in the system. Now I kind of don't, but you know, so they're mid tenders. Sorry, broccoli trees, your shit is rotten and I don't like vegetables anyways.
Yeah. So I'm a huge baseball fan, right? And one of the aspects that they've always told me to look at when you determine whether a team is championship quality or playoff, or the difference between a playoff team and a championship team, is always look at the run differential, right?
Okay.
If you have
Yeah.
a team that has a great plus run differential, you can tell that they're an elite squad, they're an elite team, that they have the pitching, they have the offense and all that stuff, right? So I'm gonna kind of try to apply this to the to Austin here real quick. And granted, like I said, they have the one outlier game against Vancouver, who right now Vancouver is playing amazing. I'm not sure what's going on up there, but I mean they're obviously in the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup and obviously leading the Western Conference. But they killed Austin 5-1, right? But prior to that, obviously, then you're talking about a differential of 6 goals to 3. They would have a plus 3 goal differential. 16 points, which is a great start. Like I said, they're not scoring the ball any better than what we are, but they're scoring when they need to. So that's the only difference. It's a bit early. Like I said, Vancouver was really their first big test as far as teams that are like legit contenders this season. Even though Vancouver it's kind of unexpected. I didn't expect Vancouver to be doing what they're doing, but I mean, whatever's going up there in Canada, they're doing things right. So I guess I'm gonna have to take OSG's mid tenders, type of deal too as well, because I mean it's kind of too early to tell, but I mean but you have to give them praise for the fact that they are in the position that they are, as far as being second place in the table, and obviously that gives them a little bit of a leash to where like certain games come along and they might mess up, or luck might not be on their side, where they can lose points and they're still in the playoff battle because they've given themselves such a long leash as far as points, as much points as they gain. I mean they've gained double the points that we
Yeah,
have. So I
what's it
mean,
meant to? They're 6th to 11th place.
yeah, so I mean, but like I said, I mean, 16 points compared to our 7. I mean, it's a big
Woo.
difference, and obviously, we can do a lot to change that if this game this week goes our way, to trying to catch up with the other players, with the other teams and other clubs, and position ourselves back into the playoff push. But now let's talk about the game this weekend, guys. Andres, how? I mean, from rumors are 150 to 170 Austin fans are coming down here to support their team. Obviously, when Austin FC as a club is doing well, the support is there. But when they suck, nobody shows up. But obviously, they're doing well right now, so they're gonna show up in drones. I guess we'll see. We'll see when that happens. Home sweet home, has it really been? Not really. I mean, obviously the LAFC game has been great.
What
We
happened
mentioned
to
the
Hell in the
Colorado.
Shell?
What happened to Hell in the Shell? Can we bring that back, and can we start melting broccoli trees up again? What do you think?
Yeah, home has just been like a really weird place to play, especially this year. And of course, when it comes to the Houston sports landscape, if you start sucking, then people are just gonna start watching something else. And it's not great when the Astros started playing, and also when the Rockets are still in playoffs. Really, when it comes down to it, it's just a matter of how they can play. And this is kind of like mostly superstition, but every time the Dynamo have been like, when games are just like poorly attended, they tend to play better than when the games are full.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we got that going for us if you believe that superstition. But yeah, like it's just the eternal debate of why our attendance is just pretty bad. So it's really gonna come down to all these factors going on, and yeah, MLS is not like a really go-to product when it comes to like Houston sports, or really of all the things that there's to do in Houston. Like, people prefer doing something else, and honestly, I just have like fans that are dedicated.
Supporters will be sold out this weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
We got that going, yeah.
I mean, look. There's obviously there's a lot of stuff going on in Houston. You got the Astros, you got the Rockets playoff game, which Game 3 will be right after the Dynamo game. So that's a good thing. Go watch the Dynamo, then go. Yeah, then go to the Dynamo game, then go afterwards. Go to Little Woodrow's, and we can watch the Rockets playoff game. So I mean, like, obviously there's always gonna be a lot of stuff going on. But obviously, I think the fan base, obviously with what they experienced the last 2 years, the fan base is starting to come back. Little by little. Obviously, did we get the start of the season that we wanted to? No, obviously that we've documented that throughout the last couple of shows that we've had. Obviously now that we have a little bit of spark with Lingr coming on the way he did. Obviously Holmes, Ortiz, Toyosi. Those players are going to be arriving pretty soon. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as how our team is going to look like as a complete set finally, right? It's not the conventional way I would have liked the team to be set up. Obviously I would have loved to have these players from the beginning of the preseason, getting ready to go, and all that good stuff. Maybe we would have had a more fantastic start to the season, but obviously we can't play back the hands of time, and we can't go back in time. So we are what we are. But obviously, with that being said, we have to take advantage of home. We have to protect hell in the shell, and we have to turn up for these derby games. It is a fellow Texas team, and we need to show who rules Texas and who's daddy here, and we're daddy. Until somebody else knocks us off and can prove otherwise, we are him, as the kids say. So I mean, look, I'm looking for a decent show out. Whatever. Obviously, we're going to be tailgating. The supporters groups are going to be heavy, and they're going to be ready to go and all that good stuff. We'll see what happens with with Batillon or Texanian Army, the Surge, and all those guys. But I'm looking forward to the game. Obviously, I know you guys will be there. We'll be there. Obviously, hopefully, we'll be doing extracurricular activities prior to the match, as far as handing out free and all that stuff. But guys, before we get on, can I get a prediction for the game? OSG, I'll go with you first. Prediction for the games.
Jesus Christ. This is going to be a 2-2 game. We're going to score our second goal for the second time this season, and it's going to be another draw, and it's going to be another comeback draw. Unfortunately.
2-2. Who scores the goals?
Ooh,
I always got to ask.
shit. Yeah, that's just so tough because we ask that every week before the game even starts. Who scores the goals? We ask Ben, who's going to score the goals? Where's the creativity going to come? Was Ponce and Escobar at practice today? I don't know. I don't think so. Is there an injury involved? I don't know. We'll see tomorrow and Friday. Oh man, where do the goals come from? It's crazy. I don't know. We're gonna have to work one off a set piece. We're gonna have to work one off a set piece and make magic. So can it be a McGlynn free kick, Golasso, or off a corner kick where Femi makes up for it and and heads one in? And, Dago says Ponce brace with a Lingr assist brace. So 2 goals Ponce. 2 goals. 2 assists Lingr. So let's go with
Wow,
that. I agree. I agree. I agree with Dago. Just so La Hinchada can shut the fuck up for at least a week, and Ponce scores 2 goals.
Shout out to Dago on the YouTube chat, man. Appreciate you
Yes,
keeping up
sir,
with us
Dago.
live. That would be great. Ponce brace and a Lingard assist on both of them. Andres, predictions.
I go 2-1 Dynamo, man.
2-2. Who scores?
Lingr scores, and then the second goal is gonna be scored by Bassi again.
Bassi, get that Bassi
Yeah.
love. Bassi love. Hey, look,
I know,
man.
right?
Look, I'll be one to admit I haven't been the biggest fan of Bassi. I appreciate the things that he does. Obviously, he's a hell of a penalty taker, right? He hasn't missed. But the thing is that when you play a position like that offensively, you have to have the will and the willingness to want to shoot. And even though I know sometimes he makes some nice little nifty passes here and there, and he gets a little cheeky with certain things and certain moves and tactics inside the box, but sometimes, dude, just smash it. Let them know that you have that capability, and it's okay. Look, obviously I'm not expecting you to make every kick from 20 yards out or 25 yards out, but just give the illusion that you have that in your arsenal. That is a possibility. And I think it would open up so much more for Bassi if he gave that out and he let these clubs know that, hey, I'm not scared to shoot from 25. But with that being said, predictions for Austin SC. You know what, man? I'm feeling good. I've had a good week this week. It's been lovely. I can't
Are those
deny.
teams upgrading to liquor?
We might be on the little whiskey high before we get to the stadium. But I'm gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 3-0. 3-0 Dynamo. 3-0 Dynamo. This is gonna be the first statement win of the season. This is going to be the first game where the Dynamo. We're going to remember this game as a statement game to where we're going to. This is our official start of the season right here. What
Are
happened
we
prior.
hashtagging G Money where he said this is the beginning of it?
This is the beginning of it. This is where you guys can go shirts off. I know y'all have the 3 goals shirts off rule, whatever. 3 goals shirts
Yep,
off. Hey,
three
there you
nil,
go.
3-0.
3-0 Dynamo this weekend. You heard it here first. And when we come back in next week, I'll be gloating knowing
Shortless.
that it was it was something different, but at least what it is. Who scores the goals? I'm gonna do a Ponce brace because that's my guy. I got to give love to Zico Ponce. And you know what? I'm gonna give a love to Kowalovic. A rocket goal from him, 25 feet.
I'll take it.
So
Nice.
3-0 Houston Dynamo. You heard it here first. So we'll see what happens. I feel good about it. I think like I said, Austin. They're gonna come back a little bit to the crowd and things of that nature. I mean, obviously, like I said, a lot of luck has gone their way, but I think coming to Houston, there is no luck for Austin. There's no love lost for Austin.
Y'all call it for those Lingr goals. I think we should check out the highlight from his goal from the last game and just get the crew hyped up a little bit here and the people listening
Sure,
too
show
as
it, man.
well.
Show it. Let's see it.
Yeah, let's go. I was hyped when it happened, like you said. Let's see some footage of it, Andres.
Is Andre Lingr.
Look at the clock, Kev, deep into stoppage time.
How
Just
about
comes
that, man?
in the blind spot
96.
of Maxo. The center back has no idea that Lingr is about to sneak right in front of him, and that's a snap header to the far post. What a play.
Dream debut indeed.
Take the
for
sports
96
Andre
minutes
Lingr.
right there.
Love that. Let's check in.
2 great headers to combine for a game time goal. So I mean, I'm
2 great
I'm
strips.
excited about it. Huh?
And 2 great strips, the jersey and
There you go.
the medical device.
The catapult brawl.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
guys, obviously we got to the point of the show where I get to ask my weekly question until we get out of the basement from the Western Conference table. And unfortunately, we're still there, so I have to keep on with the question, guys.
Well, add that too. Dagos, reminded us Lingr made team of the week as well on the bench.
Oh, that's true. Shout out making team of the week on the bench for your first week. First game played, first goal scored, first team of the week. A lot of first for Lingr. Hopefully, he's not the last. Guys, are Dynamo MLS worst? Andres, you weren't here last week, so I'll start with you.
Sure. No.
Simple answer, no. But I mean, let's be a little fair. Let's be a little, in depth with it, though. I mean, look, we're still at 7 points. Obviously, look, we're going against a team that we're 9 points behind. That's in second place at the moment. Obviously,
LA Galaxy is still LA Galaxy.
We've seen improvement with the club. We've seen improvement with the club and all that good stuff. But with that being said, like I said, the last two games where I've expected we could have collected 6 points, we've only collected 2, so that's 4 points there. We're at 7, we could have been at 11. That's the difference between a quality playoff team and a seller team. And unfortunately, I have to go with what we're at right now, and we're still a seller team. So, are we MLS worse? Obviously, I agree with Andres. I don't think we're not, but I think we are steering the ship on the right direction. Andres, what's something that they can do to improve? Like this week, obviously a win would be nice, but what improvements do you want to see to help you further yourself, or to stop me from asking this question week in, week out?
Right now, it's just points because we've already seen the reinforcements, and we very well know that they're on their way here. And it's just a matter of getting back in standings. Our schedule has been pretty tough to start of the year, and we've just taken the brunt of it, especially with the adjustments that we had to make, and of course, the transfers that the gaps of the transfers that we left in during the off season. So it's been a difficult start. It's just a matter of getting the points now and hoping to get all those reinforcements as fast as possible to this team right now.
Nice,
It's the
nice. OSG.
mentality. It's the mentality, bro. It's mentality and just trusting in yourself. Is Fiacinco going to be available? It's going to be Femi. It's going to be Barlow. It's going to be Femi and Fiacinco. Fiacinco isn't 100%. Femi is a rookie, not trusting himself right now. Barlow, you trust him what he does, but he doesn't make those athletic moves. So that's what we need is the belief in ourselves on that defense to just trust themselves and be the defense that Ben has built because that's Ben's repertoire to allow our friggin' offense to kind of play a little bit and expand and just try something and do something to get this kickstart off. But you got to trust in the defense first before you can play that game. And Ben won't do that until he believes in that defense. So it's difficult. So we'll see. Kind of need Ortiz to come in and hurry up and just give back up and help out. So need a win though. Need a win. But it
For
starts
sure,
in
for
back.
sure. So I'm guessing that's a no for you too as well for being MLS worst.
No, it's an absolute no. It's an absolute no. We're obviously bottom mid tenders. We're bottom mid tenders, and but we have a lot coming in to sell ourselves at a greater factor. So that's the only difference between other teams in the MLS that are already set in stone, and they don't have 5 players coming off the bench before the summer window even shows up. So watch out.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot
obviously,
coming, and the parity is there.
Yep. Obviously, I'm in agreement with you guys. Do I think we're MLS worst? No. Obviously, like I said, the 2 Canadian teams are way
Yeah,
ahead of us as far as
Montreal.
with the disaster. It's crazy. Montreal and Toronto are just so deep in despair, and Vancouver is like balling out of control. It's crazy. But I mean, look. Obviously, I've been happy with the improvements from the club the last couple of weeks. Like I said, it's unfortunate where I feel that we've dropped points that we didn't need to drop, but I can see the improvement as far as chemistry with the club goes. The creativity is still not there where I want it to be, and obviously the connections to try to get Bunsen more involved as far as a goal scorer is still not there. But like I said, Lingr with his hot start. Hopefully, it continues. Whether or not he starts or not is yet to be determined. But if he does, hopefully, him and Ponce can link up and can do some special things, being the top 2 most talented players on the squad. Right. Jack McGlynn is another person who I want to see more from. Being a young player that we have a lot invested in. I want to see him step up as well. And things of that nature. And obviously, a player that maybe a dark horse player for me is Kowalski. Sebas is obviously I named him as one of my goal scorers in the 3-0 route. I want to see more from him. I mean,
Mark, let me ask you a big question right now.
What's up?
Let me ask you a big question with the tactics and the style and the way Ben's playing and what has worked for the Dynamo has been the 2 CDM style with Arthur and Orso or Arthur and Reigns. But now you insert Lingr, and so you have to substitute somebody. Are you substituting one of your Basi or Seba, or are you going to substitute Reigns or Urso, and you leaving Arthur back there by himself as a CDM by himself, or what are you doing? What situation would you rather go in?
Look, we need offense. Offense scores. Like I said,
so
obviously,
test it, push it, and see what happens. Go back to it if you have to.
But look, I mean, we to have to defend with four, have back four, and then to provide two defensive mids. I mean that's
Yeah, it's too much.
if we have to guard with six men. I mean, dude. I mean, it's no reason why. It's the reason why we're lacking offensively, right? So
Yeah.
look, Uso and Reigns, I appreciate everything, but look, Arthur, he is our captain. He mans that number 6 spot, and he shows why he's one of the top 6, the top number 6s in the MLS, and he shows that why. And then look, McGlynn and Lingr attacking. Now, obviously, McGlynn will
I
have to
love it.
take the position. Now McGlynn will have to take the position of being more. Hey, I got to get back on the ball and not be as offensive minded as I would like to be, because
Mhm.
obviously obviously that's going to go to Lingr now as being the, hey, I'm going to be the ball dominant offensive juggernaut that I was brought in to be, and I'm going to push the needle as far as the offensive goes, and I'm going to be the start of the attack for the Dynamo. So it's going to be Ms. McGlynn's job to know when to step back and know when to move forward when when he's needed. So so he'll
I
have to
like
play
that.
more of that. He'll have to play more of that 8 role. But with that being said, like I said, Arthur is capable enough to man that number 6 spot down by himself. We have great defenders behind him with Escobar and Dorsey and Femi and Eric or Bartlow, depending on who starts. Those guys have had enough time to play with each other and play alongside each other to create a bond and chemistry. So, and especially if Eric's
Yeah.
starting, yeah, especially. So yeah, I'm taking Uso and Reigns out, and I'm putting Lingr as there, and I'm going 1 defensive mid and 2 attacking 10s.
Andres, briefly, do you back that up, or where do you stand? Just briefly.
Honestly, I back it up, and I'm mostly just like a Junior Urso stand right now. So anything Junior Urso involves, I'm more than likely to support it.
So you're okay. You're okay either way. But Mark said more offensive. Arso and Reigns need to go to the bench, and we play McGlynn. And so, are you going with the 2 CDM or the 1 CDM, and trusting Arthur and letting him do his damn job?
Yeah, we're gonna have to be more offensive, and I'm more so a proponent of having Urso coming off the bench to replace Arthur when we need it the most, because Arthur is still the undisputed starter, and more than anything now we need goals, and we need to have as many options as we can up there. So I'm definitely okay with Urso just starting from the bench, or coming off the bench to make it more clear. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I just don't see the club benching McGlynn. I mean, McGlynn is one of
No,
our
of
biggest
course not.
signings. So I mean,
yeah.
it wouldn't make sense. So with that being said, I mean, like I said, I think Arthur is a top echelon defensive mid, and he can hold that position down. And he could be the point of the arrow for our defense, and he's done that really well for the last 2.5 seasons that he's been with us. So I mean, he's extremely capable. I think if any club needs more than 5 defenders, then we need to find 5 better defenders. We're doing something wrong as far as
Yeah.
the players that we have as our defensive players. Guys, great question, OSG. Guys, with that being said, I put out a kind of a challenge to our supporters, our fans, our followers, and all that stuff on YouTube and every other social media outlet that you follow us in, guys. For the tailgate for the April 26th game against Austin FC, I want us to get to 300 followers. Andres, what's the current number right now?
We're at 280
It's
subscribers on YouTube.
280
along
subscribers.
slowly.
So we're 20 subscribers away, guys. 20 subscribers from here till the start of the to 3 p.m. Saturday when the tailgate starts, dude. We're 20 subs, guys. Help us out, guys. Like I said, look,
Yeah,
I got the stuff here. Caps. They're brand new, so don't think they've been worn on this and that. Caps. We got plushies for the kids. We got autographs. We got all this stuff. I got too much shit. Danny, I'm trying to give away, guys. I'm trying to give away to you guys. I'm more than happy to oblige and give away, but guys, I just need you to get us there to 300 on the YouTube subscribes. So please, guys, like I said, if you have a friend, a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, a lover, a father, a mother, whatever kind of relationship you got, just grab their phone, get them to subscribe, and that's all we ask. Get us to 300 by 3 p.m. February. I don't know why I keep saying February. April 26th. And help me help you. Help me give you some of this stuff away, guys. And all you gotta do is answer one or two Dynamo questions, and the stuff is yours. But with that being said, with that being said, search tailgate at Houston Dynamo headquarters has been confirmed. I believe the guys will be there at 4, if I'm not mistaken, from 4 to 7. Then we'll obviously march to the stadium and all that good stuff. But
Come as
obviously,
early as
guys,
you want.
yeah, come as early as you want. There'll be music bumping, BYOB. There should be some sort of food arrangement. I'm not too sure.
Pupusas are coming, bro.
Pupusas are coming.
Maggie's.
Shout out Maggie's. All that great stuff. Andres, tell the people where they can reach us. Let them know how they can reach us, and let them know how they can get in contact with us if they need to get in contact with us.
Dynamic
What's up,
Foxtrot.
OSG?
Pause. Hold on. Dose has a very important game this weekend as well. They are also playing the Baby Broccolis on Sunday at Sabercat Stadium. What's
Brussels
most
sprouts.
important, there you go. The Brussels sprouts are playing us on Sunday at Sabercat Stadium as well. But what's more importantly, man, OSG, the mileage tracker is going to grow this weekend because I'm going to Dash, I'm going to Dynamo, and I'm going to Dose. So I'm leaving tomorrow morning on Friday morning, and I'm not
Insanity.
coming back till morning. I'm not coming back till Monday morning, and I'm going to all 3
Hey,
games. So Foxtrot game day
it's
is going to be just blown up. But I want to see
Yes.
people at
it's
the friggin' Sunday game against those little Brussels sprouts, and let's make it loud and let's support let's support Dose. I want to see you there. Tickets are free. Tickets are free.
for
Get your
sure.
frickin' tickets and get to the game, bro. South 288.
For sure.
It's
Those
right there.
those
sounds
are
like
second in the standings.
yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Dynamo Dose second in
Yes.
standings.
Power
It
rankings
sounds
too.
like yeah. It sounds like OSG is gonna have a threesome of games this weekend to go to. So great job there. Have a great time, my guy. I know for sure I'll see you Saturday and all that good stuff. Andres, let us know where they can get a hold of us.
Yeah, man, as always, all season long, and especially this weekend when all 3 teams are going to be playing at the same time. You know where to find us, but at Dynamic Foxtrot is going to be the handle for X, Instagram, and also Blue Sky. Also on X, we do have the Noodle Tiempo handle, which we try to share as much Dynamo news as possible. That also includes Dash and Dose. And obviously, when the window closing this week, we've been very busy with that. And of course, wherever you're watching this, wherever you're hearing this, your favorite podcast platform, we're going to be uploading this so you can listen on your way to work, on your way home tomorrow. It's usually posted on the next day. And if you're watching it right now, you are in the best place to watch our content, which is our YouTube channel. And we do appreciate the subscription. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We're still trying to get to 300 subscribers, like Mark just said, and we're still planning on getting those giveaways out. And also, Ghost TV are another good platform to check out soccer content creators like us. We are also there on our profile. It's going to be goals.tv / at Dynamic Foxtrot. And goals is spelled with a Z towards the end. So keep an eye on that. And yeah, man, you know where to find us.
Guys, like always, thank you for the continued support, guys. Like I said, 20 subscribers away from 300. Get us there, guys. And with that being said, like I said, like I'm always going to do, shout out to Kiki Van Zenten. Dash, I see you. Guys, keep holding it down for H-Town, for the Dynamo Dash and Dyno Dose,
Yes,
guys.
sir.
Keep holding it down. Let's go.
H is up.
Carrasquilla, oh, look at that fancy pass. And now a chance in behind. Ibrahim scores! From back to front, Houston Dynamo have doubled the lead. Just like that, it's 2-0.
He has Bostic to his right-hand side. He says, I see you, I don't need you. And what a classy finish this is from Ibrahim.
Trying to turn the corner. Quiñones cuts it in. Quiñones saved! And now it's tapped in! And this'll count! The flag stays down! And the Dynamo lead 3-1! Ibrahim a brace!
Barely
get forward.
2-year-old
Into space
highlights.
here is Ibrahim Aliyu! His first Houston Dynamo goal!
We'll miss you,
And the
Aliyu.
young Nigerian
No, we won't.
confirms Houston Dynamo are heading to the Open Cup quarterfinal. It's 3-0 to the Dynamo.
Really quickly, and Corey Baird, who is now looked to display through U.S. Open Cup regular season, as you mentioned, number of other.
Franco
No,
playing
what-
in behind
what a
Aliyu.
pass.
Will pull it back for Baird. There's his hat trick,
Look at it. Look
What a
at it.
baller.
Mark, you go.
equaling
Yeah.
his previous total of Houston Dynamo goals in one night. It's a breakout
What a
evening for
baller.
Corey Baird. It's a breakout evening for Houston Dynamo.